October's coming up, right? We've got exciting new things coming to Marvel Snap, and a lot of it is back from the grave.
Zombies.
Zombie season is coming to Marvel Snap, and we've got the data mines to take a look at the cards that are showing up for next season. I want to talk about them, my initial thoughts, and if you want to dive into it as well, you can take a look over on any of your favorite data mine sites. I'll be looking at mine over at snap.fan to look at the cards and talk about what's there and what's not there. But I can confirm one thing right off the bat, that more than half of you watching this video are not subscribed. Do me a huge favor, hit that subscribe button down below. It really helps the channel like I can't even begin to tell you. So let's talk about the cards here. Oh, and the other thing, yeah, whenever you see any content about Dum Dum Duggan, yeah, he's not actually coming out. But let's dive in card by card. Card by card, we're looking at the season pass for October. This is Zombie Scarlet Witch, and we have a brand new mechanic coming to the game called Horde. Now, Horde is a very different piece because it's kind of summon your own card and then interact with another card. So anytime you have a card that says Horde on it, the first time you play one of those, the Horde itself will appear onto the screen and it will be on the board. From there on out, any other card that then interacts with the term Horde, it will specifically target that card and have a set effect to it. So for example, with Zombie Scarlet Witch, who's a 3/2 as the season pass, after you play a card here, give the Horde +2 power. Now a Horde will appear on the board as a 0/0. So from there on out, anything else that you do from there is going to affect that card. So you play Zombie Scarlet Witch, let's say in the right lane. In the left lane, we'll have the Horde appear. It'll be a 0/0. The effect of this will make it a 0/2. And as you continue on, there's going to be a lot of other pieces that help to interact with the Horde and that specific type of mechanic. Now, not all zombies are dedicated towards hordes. However, quite a few of them are. So we'll dive into which ones obviously are and aren't. It's just if it says Horde. That's all you really need to know about the actual term Horde. Here's what we got going on outside of that. The season pass, adding an extra card on the board. Think of it as a much potentially beneficial synergy as if you were looking at, I could fill up the board in a couple of different ways. So if you're looking at a board filler like Dazzler, this is a card synergy that might be something that you want to keep an eye out for. Surfer is going to love specifically this because it's extra cards on the board for free additional power. So your total on the board is going to be a 3/4 via this card after you play a card here. But then remember, that's after that location. You play another card into the Zombie Scarlet Witch location, that Horde will get another +2 power. So imagine a synergy like Kitty Pryde. You're playing into there every single turn. The Horde is also getting +2 power each time. You play a card into there and you move something out, like a Nightcrawler, Jeff the Baby Land Shark, Nocturnes, etc. It's going to rise and rise and rise. So there's a lot of synergy for a lot of those single lane and movers. You're gonna see your Angela package things come back for Zombie Scarlet Witch. I like that a lot. I think that's very fun. It's something unique, but you're going to need some pieces to help protect you at the same time. You're going to be looking at wanting to play cards like Cosmo after Zombie Scarlet Witch, for example, because you need to protect that from being Shadow King'd, from being Shang-Chi'd, from etc. You need to protect those cards. So I think that those move cards, those bounce cards, Zombie Scarlet Witch is going to find a fun synergy with. At the same time, we have something like Headpool coming to the game. This is supposed to be the super premium season pass card that is coming out that you now, and they're doing the same thing again as last season. They are going to have your availability of getting this card also as a Series 5 for 5,000 tokens in the seasonal snap packs right from day one. So if you, if you get it in the season pass, you get a variant that's exclusive to that, but the variant also unlocks the base card. Or just do the 5,000 tokens and you get it exclusively as the base card. as Taxi wants to go out really badly here off screen. But just a minute, Taxi, I'm talking about Headpool. So Headpool, another 1/1 with a destroy mechanic built involved. So this is not a Horde card. When this is destroyed, return it to your hand, then give all cards in your hand +1 power. So take the activation mechanic that you see from regular Deadpool of when this is destroyed, similar, Headpool, Deadpool, get it, right? But then add on the Vivision / Nakia benefit of everything in your hand gets additional power. So hand buff destroy, something potentially coming to the game, maybe? I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know what this, like, besides hand buff, where this really wants to go. And it feels like it's two archetypes that might not necessarily want to mesh together, destroy and hand buff, because I guess there's some extra pieces, like maybe your Nova wants to get that because it'll beef up specifically having null, like an extra piece. Like maybe it's a Nimrod card, sure, but Nimrod, you're typically trying to destroy later. You want all the destroy things happening on turns 5 and or 6 or 7, depending on how you're building it, right? It doesn't seem like it wants to be that kind of card. Dormammu's definitely a great synergy, and this is why I love doing these live here. As you can see in the chat above, we're live on Twitch and YouTube, and we do this every season to get ready for the next season. So I like having it as an open conversation, and if you want to join on in, there are links in the description below. So Headpool, sure, Dormammu makes a lot of sense, especially now. So I like that Dormammu has a potential synergy here because it's 1-cost fodder, just like Deadpool. Maybe it's a little less synergetic in comparison to X-23 because X-23 constantly reappears back on the board, but I do see this having good overall value if you even get one destroy out of it, because it's still cheaper overall than a Nakia, right? You're getting the full same effect, but I think that there's something there. I think that there is something there. It's going to take some testing. I'm just not 100% sold on the need for this card. I think that's the better way to word it. It'll have some homes, but is it bettering the decks that it wants to be in? That's what we're going to have to test out in the Good or Garbage series, but more on that later. Simultaneously, we have Colonel America coming out. This is the Series 5 card that's dropping at the beginning of the season. So when you go into your collector's packs, you'll have Headpool and Colonel America, who's a 3/3 ongoing. Your other cards here have +1 power for each turn you've discarded a card. So now in the first 3 cards of the month, we're covering Horde, the new mechanic, Destroy, and Discard. This is a very wide open season. This is not a Fantastic Four season where everything wants to synergize together. This is, look, some of this is for people who play this, some of this is for people who play this. And as you'll see, as we go through the rest of the season, this is going to be a great season for Marvel Snap players to really pick and choose the archetypes that they want to invest in further. If you're someone just coming to the game and you want to have up-to-date cards that are pretty good, I think that that's a great thing right now in October, because you're trying to get a lot of people to start playing the game before the holidays come on up and people have a lot more free time to play on their on their phone. So I really like that they're kind of releasing cards that are not dedicated to one archetype for 1 month. It is a wide open season. But think about it. Your other cards here have +1 power for each turn, keyword, turn, you discarded a card. And it's ongoing. Not you, Ben. You go away. You had your season. So this is ongoing. If you go Blade into Colleen Wing, Colonel America drops on 3. That's already giving +2 to every card in that lane. Now take it further. You're doing discards on maybe 2 other. That's 3/4. That makes the total value of this card of 315. Because to do 4 turns of discards out of 6 turns in a discard deck is incredibly regular. But this is going to help also push a different type of archetype. This is a I want to discard to enter the board archetype. This is instead of just having your bullseye hit the swarm and ramp up the collector and ramp up Morbius, this is about doing all of those discards early and then get those pieces down onto the board, because there will be more value to having those swarms down on the board, the Wolverine down on the board, your Proxima Midnight down on the board. You get the idea. I like that this kind of is feeding that element of discard that hasn't been leaned into too hard. It's had moments and maybe like single card synergies like with Proxima, but very often they're not really pushing the narrative of get your stuff on the board. I like that. I like that for this card. I think that's going to be really fun. Now let's talk about the Series 4s that drop at the same time. So again, this is another season where we've got 5 cards that come out on the very first day. We have the Season Pass, the Super Premium Season Pass, the Series 5, and then 2 Series 4s. This is the first one, Zombie Giant Man. We didn't get real Giant Man, we got Zombie Giant Man. We can talk about that another time though. 5/3 on reveal, Horde, we're back to this, +1. Then this gains power equal to Zombie Horde. So go back to Scarlet Witch for a second then, where after you play a card here, Hordes get +2. Imagine you play Zombie Scarlet Witch on 2. And then you also play 2 cards in that lane on turn 4. That means your Horde is now a total of, it goes from 0/0, after you play a card here, it gets +2/+2. Now you've got 4 onto that Horde. Now go back. Now we're back into Zombie Giant Man. The Horde gets +1. The Horde is now at 5, which turns Zombie Giant Man into a 5/8. Get it? They're feeding off of each other because of how the sequencing goes. On reveals will happen first, and then Zombie Scarlet Witch will happen second. I wonder if you play Giant Man on Scarlet, which will activate first. On reveals will activate and resolve first, followed by other card mechanics. That's the ordering how that'll go. So Giant Man will have to have the +1 happen first, and then the additional +2 if you played Zombie Giant Man in that same lane as Scarlet. Then the Horde will get a +2 afterwards. Zombie Giant Man can't get his own play in that synergy. But this is weird because it's like Zombie Bounce wants to become a thing. And I'm really okay with that. I like that idea. I think that there's some cool things that can happen there, but I just don't know if that ends up being stronger than Iron Man in classic Bounce. I think that the more all into hoarding, as weird as that sounds, that you lean into it, that's going to be real, like, that's how you need to build your Horde decks. Similar to how you look at Spectrum to want to build an ongoing deck, or Onslaught to build certain types of ongoing decks. Horde, you're either all in or you're not. Plain and simple. I really like that. I really, really like that. I think that's a lot of fun. The other Series 4 card, though, now we're back into this. The other Series 4 card, Zombie Power Man. Zombie Power Man is an end of turn mechanic. 2/4. If you're winning here, discard the leftmost card from your hand. I'm scared that this might be a better card than Redshift, because it's really easy to get this to happen once for an Agatha deck. And then you don't have an extra card in your hand. And I think that that ends up being potentially very powerful, because if you're looking at the decks that want to just dump the hand out, we go rewind, we go back to Headpool. Having it, sorry, not Headpool, where is it? The Colonel America. All of those extra discarded cards. If you have a card on the board that's automatically doing it every single turn, think of all of the cards that can enter the board because of that. You hitting the swarms, more into the hand. You're hitting your X-23, your Wolverine, your Proxima Midnight. It's just free on the board, and you're just trying to win the lane, which is already in a good power stance at 2/4. That's what I'm saying. This is a different element of discard that I thoroughly enjoy. And all of that's going to evolve in one day, because all 5 of those cards show up at once. Very fun. It's going to be a very interesting new meta right from the get-go. And I'm curious how it's also going to affect Golden Gauntlet. We have the Golden Gauntlet coming back on October 11th. It is the last chance to qualify for the Worlds event in November. This is happening Saturday, October 11th. It will be kicking off at... when? Almost got you. No, stay tuned. The official announcement's coming out soon. I almost ruined that. Anyway, moving on to Zombie Mr. Fantastic. I almost blew it. Zombie Mr. Fantastic is a 2/2, and that's coming out the following week. So now we're starting to enter the next mechanics. The next mechanics are per week. This is a Series 5 coming out on the 14th, and this day where Zombie Mr. Fantastic comes out, that is going to be my birthday stream. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to have big events. We're going to have giveaways. We're going to have lots of stuff. So save the date, Tuesday, October 14th, birthday celebration right here at twitch.tv/ItsGuestGaming, as well as live on YouTube at ItsGuestGaming as well, where you're watching it. So just another reason to hit that subscribe button, because everyone likes free stuff, right? Yeah. On reveal, Horde, we're back to this, +2 power when you play it. But additionally, activate. Give 4 of your created cards +1 power. So up to 4. So there's a couple of ways you can look at this, right? Now, obviously you think created card, you think Victoria Hand. It's a very popular archetype right now. You've got the whole Demon Hood and Misery synergy, and then this is something you just play off to the side and leave alone. And then final turn, or turn 5 even, just once you got 4 of them on the board, play it on down. Key note though, this is not something you could just activate on turn 3 and then have all of it go to the Horde, because look at the wording. Give 4 of your created cards +1 power. It does not say give your created cards +1 power 4 times. That would indicate that it would be able to hit multiple times. That is not the case. So please understand that when you're deck building with this card. The other danger to this card on that week is going to be something like Red Guardian, because Red Guardian, it's only a 2/2, and it wants to be on the board for as long as possible. Just, you can ruin 4 power and remove 2 power at the same time by playing this. So this is a card you're gonna have to really be careful with, and I'd ideally say is a later play. This is a turn 4 play, maybe a turn 5 play if you can, so you can activate then on turn 6 a lot more safely. In regards to the extra pieces of Horde, as we unlock the rest of the Horde mechanics throughout the video, you'll kind of get an idea of where you're going to want to start building these decks and how is it more than just a Victoria Hand deck. Next up, later in the day, later in the week, we then get the Hunger. We have another skill card. Just like we have Astral Projection, we have another skill card coming to the game. It is a 1-cost skill that just simply gives the Horde +3 power. I mean, there's only so much you can really say about this. It says right now that it's going to come through a limited time event. I'm assuming that's going to be either Sanctum Showdown, Grand Arena, High Voltage. We just had Deadpool's Diner, so I don't think Deadpool's Diner is going to come back in October, so it's probably one of the other 3. We just don't know which one yet. But I mean, it's a 1/3. If you're playing a Horde deck, this is kind of a staple. Especially if you have Wong in that deck, this is a 1/6. Can't call it a bad thing, right? Give the Horde +3 power that appears on the board. The other thing that this also does is it could be just a turn 1 play. Because remember, any card that says Horde on it, if the Horde does not exist yet, it will then create the Horde onto the board. It's very Seussian, isn't it? Right? So that will happen at that moment. Excuse me. So this could be a turn 1. Get that to appear on the board. Turn 2. Now you start looking at maybe the Zombie Mr. Fantastic. Turn 3, you're looking at Zombie Scarlet Witch. Maybe, you start getting the idea, right? So no matter when you play this, it's a 1/3 to the Horde specifically. Hi, Taxi. Would you like to come join us? You can count. Here we go, Taxi. Yes, everybody say hi, Taxi. He's got his sweater today. Anywho. Good doggo. The following week. Now we're looking at 121. We're looking at the 21st of October with Zombie Captain Marvel. 4/4 activate, so a 4-cost activate. These have to be really damn good for me to really enjoy them. But look at this. Destroy your other cards here to get +3 power for each. Then move to a location you're losing. So this is, in my opinion, a better Captain Marvel than the original. Because the original is a 4/5. And at the end of the game, it'll move to a location that you're losing to try to win the game. Or, yeah, right? That's the whole idea here. This, though, could be upwards of a 4/13 that moves to another one. Think about that. The ultimate throw lane card that you have to account for. This is a potentially very strong card, even in decks like Move. How often do you end up with fodder, right? You've used your Sparky, you've used your Iron Fist, Madam Web's doing nothing the rest of the game. There's some crazy stuff that could potentially happen with this card. Yeah, throw in Fire Hair as well. I mean, the ceiling is insane. This is a very strong card that, as of right now, in the data mines is 4/4. That's getting +3s. I would not be surprised if that gets tuned down because the ceiling on that is crazy high for a 4-cost card. And yet we're still stuck with a 4/11 Namor. Come on now. Moving on. Now we start getting into getting closer and closer towards Halloween in the States. We have another limited time event. So again, personal prediction, it's either Grand Arena, High Voltage, or Sanctum Showdown. And we've got Zombie Sentry, who's a 3/4 on reveal Horde. Once again, another Horde card, +1 for each of your cards at the right location. So now we're taking that similar synergy to Sentry, which wants to put the Void over in the right location, and instead asks you to fill your right location a little earlier, put some more cards in there, and then play the Horde in it as an on reveal. This is a card you can play in the right lane and have it affect that card as well. So you could have 3 other cards in the right-hand lane, play Zombie as the 4th, Zombie Sentry as the 4th, and it will give 4 power to the Horde, no matter where that Horde is, including the right lane, because it can count itself as a card. So, total ceiling on this, 3/8. Again, Wong, maybe. Never know. But hopefully you're getting a better understanding of the Horde mechanic and how all of these cards are just feeding more to it, feeding more to it, feeding more to it, feeding more to it. That's something that's really good. I like that you can progressively work on it there. Yeah, cards like Grandmaster will absolutely work for it. Absorbing Man will absolutely work for it. You're going to go all in if you play a Horde deck. You're going to have multiple cards that say, give the Horde this. Plain and simple. It's just like an ongoing deck in that sense. Lastly, this is the card I'm actually most excited about, personally. I think this is the most interesting design out of all of them. Because, man, this could be stupid good and stupid fun. I really like this card. It's complicated because it's going to take work. But let's talk about it. This is Zombie Galacti. Start of game. So hopefully another start of game mechanic card. Choose 6 other cards in your deck. On reveal, transform those cards into copies of this. Sounds weird, but let me explain, okay? You have 12 cards in your deck. Zombie Galacti is one of them. At the start of the game, out of the other 11 cards, it puts a marker, think of it that way, on those cards. Like, hey, this is a potential Zombie Galacti card. Now, Zombie Galacti, you draw it eventually. This is a card you want to progressively buff. So let's say it's in your hand or in your deck. we'll use the deck as a better example, right? You play a Koye, it's now a 7-5. You play Fastos, and it hits the +2 power, it's now a 7-6. You then play Jubilee. Jubilee comes and pulls Zombie Galacti down. It's a 7-6. Those other cards, no matter what they were, it could have been the Okoye, the Fastos, and the Jubilee. They all turn into 7-6s. Zombie Galacti at that moment. So this is a card that you want to have appear on the board on the final turn of the game and have smaller cards than it be bumped up to that card. That is the goal. So imagine your cards being blinked. You do a Magic game. You play Magic on 3 at one point. That's a 3-2, and it has the Zombie Galacti star, or tag, or effect, or whatever they're going to put on it. Later on, you blink on turn 6, and it goes to a card of higher cost. That's what you're trying to do. This is a ramp card. You want that 6-cost card to hit the 7-cost card at that moment. Or you're gonna have to have some kind of buff like Luna Snow, so you can play a 7-cost card on the final turn. And all of the cards that were under that value shoot up to a 7-4. So it's a backwards mechanic to what Bast wants to do, what Agent Venom wants to do, which is bring the cards up to the value of this card. That's what you're looking for. It is a build-around card. This is not like any of the other cards in the rest of the season. This is a card you want to have just simply be your centerpiece, your whole goal. It's like a Silver Surfer deck. It's like a Hela deck. You're a Cerebro deck. You're trying to build to have that card get on the board on turn 6. How you do that, though, that's the tough part. Now, it does not, because it uses the word transform, it does not retain the other abilities. So if it's an ongoing, let's say it's Iron Man and it gets that card, it turns into a 7-4 Zombie Galacti, but does not retain the Iron Man effect. So that's why I'm saying this is how you have to look at it. It's like Bast or Agent Venom, bringing it up to a 4-power card. Very, very cool mechanic, but it is a very interesting build-around mechanic. I'm not sure yet what the best way to build this is. We are a month away from getting this card. There's going to be a lot of conversation about it. And as we get other pieces that are giving those reinforcements, I think that that's completely fine. What I'm curious to see is how other cards end up getting affected because of this. For example, imagine you play the Hood and it's a -3. You play it and you destroy it. It's in the graveyard. You have Null on the board, but then get Zombie Galacti down. In your graveyard, it's now a 4-power card. Does it affect Null in its current state or its former state? These are the kinds of things I'm really curious to see what's going to happen here. Do tokens also get transformed, like an Agent Coulson, and you get 2 cards out of it? Do those 2 cards also have the tag of Zombie Galacti? There's some really cool things here. Really, really, really cool things here. I'm gonna want a lot of time to mess with this card, and I'm excited to see what the community does with it. Because it could be busted, it could also be a bust. I don't know. But what I do know is that the zombie season is going to be a very diverse season in Marvel Snap. We have discard, we have destroy, we have created card, we have Horde, the brand new mechanic coming to the game, we have the Galacti piece. Archetypes are going to be constantly changing and evolving. What are you excited for? Which of these sounds the most interesting to you? How do you want to play some of these new cards? Let me know down in the comments below, because I'll be looking to that also for the future, and maybe we'll recommend your synergy or your deck in the Good or Garbage series in the upcoming month. I really appreciate all the support as always here on the channel. Y'all have been absolutely fantastic, supporting, liking, sharing, subscribing. the channel has been exploding, and I really appreciate every single engagement. Thank you all so much, everyone. And as always, see you next time.